Shivoham, 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 Shivoham. Shivoham, Shivoham. Shivoham, Shivoham. Shivoham, Shivoham. Shivoham, Shivoham. Shivoham, Shivoham. Shivoham, Shivoham.
Shuklambaradaram Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vignopashantaye. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Manojabam Marutatulya Vegam Jitendriyam Buddhimatam Varishtham Vatatmajam Vanarayudha Mukhyam Shri Ramadutam Sharanam Prapadhye. Namaste. Welcome to Kaivalya Yoga Gurukulam for another session in Yogic Kriyas. Before we begin, happy Yoga Day. For those of you in the US, it is still the International Yoga Day that is being celebrated all over the world. Have a blessed Yoga Day, and may the year ahead continue to motivate you, inspire you with these yogic practices and help you be regular in your practice. The key to success in yoga is simply regularity and nothing else. So having said that, with prayers to the divine, let us begin the Kriya practice. We'll start with the Omkara Kriya. With every exhalation, allow a lot of air to escape along with the chant of the Om. Sit up tall and straight. Take a couple of moments to become mindful. You may want to swallow your saliva before beginning any Kriya so that it doesn't come in the way. When you're ready, inhale. As you exhale, inhale, come up. Shift your awareness to the region of the stomach. Pull your stomach slightly in and lock it in place. Lagu or simple Uddiyana Bandha. This bandha here will help push the prana and keep it up. With the bandha in place, let's do the second Om. Inhale. Inhale, come up. Shift your focus to the region of the throat. Partially close the glottis, engage the Ujjayi breath. Sucking the air in through the throat, pushing the air out through the throat. Listen to the sound of the breath. Inhale when you're ready. Inhale, come up. Sit up tall and straight. All right. Throughout the practice now, keep this bandha, lagu version of this bandha, and the Ujjayi breath active. Kaka Shuddhi Kriya is the next one. You're going to powerfully exhale through your mouth, with your mouth spouted like a beak of a crow, like so. Powerful, and continue till you can exhale no more. Then you breathe in and come up. We'll do this 5 times. Inhale. Again, you may want to swallow the saliva before you inhale. And let's go. Inhale, come up. Mindful breathing in between. Inhale. Let's go. Inhale, come on. If you're sitting on the ground and you have a back issue, you can place your palms like so as well as you go down. Inhale. Let's go. Inhale, come up. Keep the bandha in place. 2 more to go. Inhale. Let's go. Inhale. One more. Inhale. Powerful exhalation. Inhale. Mindful breathing. Every inhalation, mindfully receive the wind as if you are receiving a god into your temple, reverentially. With every exhalation, allow the wind to carry out all the toxins out of your body by lengthening your exhalation, cleansing your lungs. All right. Agnisara, the third one. You're going to breathe out this time. Hold the breath out. Pull your stomach in to form a full Uddiyana, Bandha, and then you flap the stomach in and out. Loose and relaxed. And then you breathe in. Okay, just playfully try. Slowly your muscles, you will learn this. It will take a lot of time, so be patient in your practice. We'll do this 3 times. Sit up tall and straight. I like to keep my hands here, so it gives me a firm, so I can focus. I suggest you do the same. You can also keep your hands down if you wish to. Inhale. Exhale fully through the nostril or through the mouth. Empty the lungs. When you're done, pull your stomach and begin the Kriya. When you're finished, inhale. Sit up tall and straight. Inhale again. Exhale fully. When you're done exhaling, begin the Kriya. Feel the lengthening of the spine. The warmth in the stomach begins to move up. One more. Inhale. Exhale fully. Inhale. Mindful breathing. Maintain the bandha. Excellent. Let's do the Markata Kriyas. Distributing the prana throughout the body, creating a sense of wellness and well-being. Sit up tall and straight. We know the routine by now. We'll do 5 of these. Let's begin. Inhale. Exhale. Left hand. Inhale. Exhale. Maintain the bandha. Inhale. Exhale. 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 Inhale. exhale, inhale, 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 exhale. Let's continue. Inhale, exhale, 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 inhale, exhale. One last one. Inhale, exhale, 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 inhale, exhale. Sitting tall and straight, applying the bandha, mindful breathing. Lengthen your exhalations. Excellent. Pranaam Asana. Let's sit in Vajrasana. As always, if there is a problem with your ankles, you can always use something in between your feet, like so, a couple of pillows, a yoga block, or a little ring like that, so that lessens the tension on your ankles. And then you can do the asana. If not, sit regular. Sit up tall and straight. Let us do the mudra. Fold your thumbs, fingers over your thumbs. Place the fist on either side of your belly button. Low, not high here, but keep it low. That's why it should be on either side. The belly button is here on either side. Inhale. Pull your stomach in. And as you exhale, gently collapse on top of your thighs. And go all the way down to the floor. Use the back of your lungs to breathe as you maintain this position. If you can't reach the floor, rest your head on the block. Breathe in and out. Use the back of your lungs, the sides of your lungs. Allow the stomach muscles to be fully pressed, squeezing all the vital organs. Maintain the Ujjayi breath. When you're done, gently inhale, come up. You can continue sitting like this if you're comfortable, or else come back and gently sit either in half lotus or full lotus. It's entirely up to you. All right. Ideally, you don't wear any shirt because you can easily move. I'm too well dressed for a yoga class, but it's satsang time as well, so sit up tall and straight. Throughout the Bhastrika practice, every time you exhale, you bring your hand down. Make sure the bandha is in place. 20, 10, 20, 3 rounds. First round will have 20 kriyas. So sitting up tall and straight. Swallow saliva. Let's begin the first 20. Observe. Listen to the sound of the breath. Feel the breath going in and out. All right. 10. Get ready. And let's go. Breathe in and out. Maintain this bandha. Excellent. Now the last 120. Focus on the power of your exhalations. All right? And when you're ready, let's go. Breathe in and out. Maintain the bandha. Wonderful. Now for the next 5 minutes, let us lose ourselves in the Ramanama Pranayama. For that, we use the left hand for the Kamala Kriya. Now you can use both hands as well. Kamala Kriya, your palms represent the lungs. So you inhale, 4 counts, the lungs expand. As you exhale, you close into a fist for 8 counts. You inhale and you exhale. A very beautiful, powerful exercise to establish control over the Vayu element in the body. So use your left hand for the Kamala Kriya. With the right hand, form this mudra. The forefinger and the middle finger is bent. With the thumb, you close your right nostril. You breathe in through the left. Then you breathe out through the right. In through the right, out through the left. So the way it goes is left in, right out. Right in, left out. When you apply the ratio, it goes left in 4 counts, right out 8 counts, right in 4 counts, left out 8 counts. Use the Ujjayi breath to suck in the air and push the air. The nostrils are merely a passive passage where the breath simply flows in and out. Focus on the ratio. Focus on the volume of air that is exchanged. Focus on how smooth the breath is, consciously. At a deeper level, allow the name of Rama to gently enter your consciousness, fill your consciousness. In that, you and I, we meet in that virtual space. In that divine consciousness where we are all one. There is no separation there. And the name of Ram unites us all into that oneness. Purely the sound energy of this powerful divine principle. Every soul then derives sustenance from this. So let us lose ourselves in this ancient divine practice. Sit up tall and straight. And with reverence, let's begin the Ramanama Pranayama.
Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale. Exhale. 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 Inhale. Exhale.
साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। श्रीराम राम रामेति रमे रामे मनोरमे सहस्रनाम तत्तुल्यं राम नाम वरानने। श्रीराम राम रामेति रमे रामे मनोरमे सहस्रनाम तत्तुल्यं राम नाम वरानने। श्रीराम राम रामेति रमे रामे मनोरमे सहस्रनाम तत्तुल्यं राम नाम वरानने। हनुमान हनुमान श्री राम दूत हनुमान Hanuman, Hanuman, Shri Ramaduta Hanuman, 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 Shri Ramaduta Hanuman, 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 Shri Ramaduta Hanuman, 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 Shri Ramaduta Hanuman, 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 Shri Ramaduta Hanuman, 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 Shri Ramaduta Hanuman, 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 Shri Ramaduta Hanuman, 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 Sita Rama, Sita Ram, Radhe Krishna, Krishna Radhe Shyam, Hanuman, Hanuman, Shri Ramaduta Hanuman, Sita Rama, Sita Ram, Radhe Krishna, Krishna Radhe Shyam, Radhe Krishna, Krishna Radhe Shyam, Hanuman, Hanuman, Shri Ramaduta Hanuman, Shri Ramaduta Hanuman, Shri Ramaduta Hanuman, 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 Hanuman. Namaste. For those of you who have just joined, welcome to Kaivalya Yoga Gurukulam. It is indeed our greatest good fortune to be able to host the Sri Hanuman Yagna, dedicated to the Mahaprana, the principal energy of this universe, represented by Hanuman. And in invoking Hanuman, contemplating on Hanuman, studying the life and teachings, the actions of Hanuman, we are learning more about our own selves and the Divine Mother seated in our Lanka, and how the Hanuman within discovers her and joins her with the Atma Ram. So we are entering the next chapter in this divine epic where we are studying the Sundarakanda. And the chapter is chapter number 34. It has 41 verses. Again, a conversation between Hanuman and Sita. Once again, the learning continues. And it's very powerful here how Valmiki is portraying something very subtle to us. And I hope we can capture this. As I spoke yesterday about how unique Hanuman's introduction of himself was, where he has not yet even mentioned who he was. He was only inquiring about Sita's welfare and so on. Sita introduces herself to Hanuman in a very unique divine way, which we studied. And then it is time for Hanuman to speak, seeing Sita in that sorrowful mood, because she ends in the last chapter. She says, I have been only given 2 months to live. And so Hanuman now speaks to her. And here again, the name is not mentioned. In these 41 verses, I think I might have to split between today and tomorrow. I'm not sure. But in these 41 verses, Hanuman mentions his name by way of proper introduction in the 39th verse. Until then, he is only praising Rama, Lakshmana, Sugriva, and everyone else. That is the beauty here. But even the beginning, he starts saying, I am a messenger of Rama. My name and all of that comes much later, like I said, in the 39th verse of this. So it really baffles me, because I'm coming face to face now, and I'm sure you are too. When we study there's these kind of epics in depth, verse by verse, chapter by chapter. Of course, we are not studying verse by verse, literally. We are summarizing each chapter. But nevertheless, we come face to face with these deep realities of the situation, and how at a time when you think it is but natural to introduce yourself, put yourself forward. After all, you have taken so much trouble. Hanuman has taken what kind of trouble? He has jumped over the sea. He is from Kishkinda. They've been searching for weeks at a stretch without proper food and water. And then he jumped over the ocean, overcame all those obstacles, went and searched. And so after all this, when he comes to Sita, wouldn't he be bursting to say, I am Hanuman Sita, and this is what happens? No. Patiently he waits and listens and watches. There's so much to learn in the spiritual path. I know I've said this before, but it really is a big lesson for me, and that's what I'm sharing is what I am feeling it in my core. That patience is so much of a key here. Because in our concept, in our idea to progress, we push ourselves too fast, too soon. And often we recoil from that often. And we say, okay, this is not working. And we give it up all completely sometimes. Or give it up completely, not all the time, but for a long period of time. And therefore our sadhana goes up and down. There are long breaks in our practices, whether it is yogasanas, whether it's meditation or japa. And then we just go into this eternal cycle of ups and downs. But study the attitude of Hanuman, study the actions of Hanuman, study how the behavior of Hanuman, how he was so patient. Because in his mind, the I and mind just doesn't exist. That is why I said this is between Ravana and Hanuman. Our study is between, are we okay? It was a blip, so, all right. It's a study between Hanuman and Ravana, because there's a stark contrast. Ravana is all about I, me, and mine. Hanuman doesn't even know, it seems, the I, the importance of I, the importance of mine. Why is it so important in the 21st century? Because it is completely opposite to what we are feeding ourselves every day through modern education, through modern channels of communication and so on. I and me first, everybody else last. And this is completely opposite to that. So here itself we see that the spirit and the mind, the spirit and the personality could clash. Because the personality wants to be the one to rule. But the spirit wants to free that personality out so that the energy of the spirit can simply flow. Because in the spirit there is no I. There is only he. Baba would very beautifully tell this. The journey of life should be from I to we. when you do service from I to we. Your pain, your struggle, you experience, and you say, how can I help with this? What I have learned with this, how can I help others? So I becomes we, right? So the journey goes from I to we. That means there is an expansion of consciousness. But is that all? No. And then he says from we to he. That means from I to interconnectedness of everything that we see. We feel that we are a part of the universe, not isolated beings, secluded from the rest of the elements, the rest of the universe, the rest of the world, the rest of the people. We are all interconnected. So from that we become we, but that's not the end. That's only the midpoint. From that you begin to understand all of this is the one consciousness, the he. So I to we to he. Hanuman represents that beautiful concept of we to he. Because for him, only Rama exists. Only Rama's mission exists. What am I going to get out of this? How much trouble am I taking to do this? How am I being treated? Nothing, those thoughts even doesn't cross his mind at all. That is the powerful lesson. And I'll continue on that in this chapter, because I just can't get over that power of that. In the verses, the way Valmiki is presenting it to us, the dialogues between Sita, Mother Sita and Hanuman. So here Hanuman talks about the only I he uses is, I am the messenger of Rama. I am a messenger. Rama, who's the master of the Vedas, the wielder of the Brahmastra, wishes you well. Kaushalam, he wishes you well. He's asked for your welfare. So he passes on. The moment Sita is ready to listen, he passes on firstly the message that was meant to be passed. Rama asked about your welfare. Why did it disappear? Are we good? Okay. All right. Rama asks for your welfare. Then he says, Lakshmana, his brother, sends you his salutations. Abhivadanam. We do in South India, we have Abhivadi. We bow down at the feet and offer salutations. So Rama is sending his Kaushalam, his blessings, is asking asking your welfare. Lakshmana sends the Abhivadana. Right? It's a very two different greetings. See, Hanuman is mentioned it separately in two separate verses. Hanuman does not mix the two and try to say Rama and Lakshmana have sent their greetings to you. Because each one has sent a separate greeting. Rama has sent well wishes, asking welfare to Sita. Rama will not send a salutations to Sita, right? He's elder to Sita. And he's the Purusha. And when I mean Purusha, not Purusha and female and male, but Purusha as the cosmic principle, he represents that. So as a husband anyway, he asks her, I hope she is well, please convey my counsel and my welfare to her, my enquiries to her. Lakshmana on the other hand says, please convey my salutations when you see her. Okay? So Hanuman says, both are grief-stricken, both are stricken by sorrow, and Rama conveys his wishes to you, Lakshmana conveys his salutations to you. How clearly and simply Hanuman conveys that has to be conveyed. And then what happens? Sita, the moment she hears Rama and Lakshmana, she feels a thrill all over her body. Such was her devotion. Such was her one-pointedness. Just listening enraptures the mind. The thing, when I read that verse, what struck me was how pure is that devotion, right? And how much she values that name Ram. How much she values that mantra, how much she values that visualization, name and form of Ram that she has been meditating upon. The reason why I say this is there is a lot for us to learn. Let us say there is Sai Ram, a beautiful mantra, a name that is available. If we use it mindlessly for everything, I'm not saying we shouldn't, please don't misunderstand me here. But if we mindlessly use it for everything, then when it comes to meditating on that name and awakening the consciousness, why doesn't it happen? Because you're used to that same sound vibrations. We've used it as a synonym for thank yous, as a synonym for please sit down, as a synonym for stand up, as a synonym for hello, how are you? We use that for everything. And then when I want to meditate on the same name, how much more difficult have I made it for myself to extricate all the other meanings and now focus on this? That's number one. Number two, because of television, because of the ease to video and access to the name and the form, we put on a video, let us say. Shouldn't everything else stop when we look at the form of our beloved deity, of our beloved Lord, of our beloved God, of our beloved Guru? Shouldn't everything else stop in our consciousness? Or is the video running and we say, okay, let it go on, I will go quickly do this work, I'll go do that work and come back. I have attended retreats where they say, let us put a Sai Baba video, let it go on, people will slowly gather, we will use that as a warm-up session. Till people gather, we will play some video. So video is playing, Baba is giving darshan, everybody is coming in, going out, hello, how are you, okay, good to see you. Everybody is chit-chatting. That video has absolutely no respect that it deserves. Why? Because in that video, what does it represent? It represents Baba giving darshan. So how can you sit and engage pleasantries and look here and there and treat that? So it's not religiously wrong or right. I'm not going there. My point here is, then when you want to sit and meditate on that form and feel the exaltation, feel that oneness with Sai, how is it going to happen? It's not going to happen. Why? Because you yourself have not given it that respect. So the same video will have no respect. This happens when we play long videos over Shivratris and it applies to everything, Rama, Krishna, all, whatever chosen deity. The moment you're seeing something, pay attention to it. Otherwise, close your eyes and pay attention to the name that is coming in. You have to pay attention. Give it that much respect that it deserves. That is the mantra that is going to liberate your mind from its conditionalities. That is going to free your personality from the prisons. How can you use it so mindlessly and so often that it loses its own value? So one has to understand this. Now you might say, but Namasmarana will never lose its value and all of that. I don't question that. It is our use of it. You have a $10 note, let us say, in your wallet, 10 rupees, 100 rupees, whatever it is, right? You have that in your wallet. But if you misuse that, the value of that note is not going to change. But our misuse of that is what determines how much we get out of that, right? And so we have to understand that while I can use the name of God for everything, I have to understand the value, otherwise I'll miss. Here's a beautiful humorous story that Baba mentions here. Baba talks about a merchant who says, okay, his guru says, at the time of passing away, when your life leaves the body, if your mind is immersed in the divine principle, you stand Krishna, Rama, Govinda, then you attain liberation. His guru tells him. So he says, oh great, that's all. And he says, that is all that's required? I mean, I don't have to do any sadhana throughout the life and struggle with sense control and all of that. Just at the time of death, if I just think of Rama and Krishna, that should be okay. Guru says, if you think that's so easy, yes, sure. And the merchant says, oh, it should be very easy for me. I've got a plan to do that. So he goes and as he gets married and has his children, he says, you know what? I've got a brilliant idea. I'm going to name each of them divine names. He calls his eldest son Rama, the second son is called Krishna, the third son is called Govinda. And they grow up, they take over his business, he's running the business, it's flourishing, his shop is there, and they come and help him. So Baba says till the very end of his life, he has no time for japam, dapam, dhyanam, nothing, no spiritual practice. He says, what is there? I've got my son's name, I'm just going to call Rama, Krishna, Govinda. I've been calling them all the time. So he's using divine name, but his intention is different, right? So that's my point. And so he goes on throughout his life. Towards the end of his life, as he's in his deathbed, he knows just a few more minutes have are left and he's struggling to breathe, he tells his wife, call Rama Krishna Govinda. And he starts saying Rama Krishna Govinda, Rama Krishna Govinda, Rama Krishna Govinda. So far so good, right? And then the three of them come running to the dad. And as the three of them come running and bend over him, he takes his final breath. He says, Rama, Krishna, Govinda. And then he says, oh my God, who's looking after the shop? And then he dies. Baba always has a good laugh at his own humorous anecdotes. Rama, Krishna, Govinda was easy, but the intention remained the same. And therefore, when he saw all of them, his mind went to the shop at the final, and he said, who's taking care of the shop? And that's how he dies. So it is not easy. Why? Because throughout his life, he used these names as means to run his business, nothing else. Okay, so we have to learn and understand this Sita feeling thrill in her body is not a small thing. We might overlook it and say, oh, okay, she is divine, she this, that, and we skip it. But pause right there. What do you mean she felt the thrill? How? Just by saying Rama sent his welfare to you. That's all. Lakshmana sent his salutations to you. She says, hearing Rama and Lakshmana from your mouth sends me the thrill. Because until then, all those months, she has not heard these names, Rama and Lakshmana. From Ravana, yes, maybe, but he used to always call Rama as Vanvasi, right? The hermit in the forest. And so she couldn't hear that. She's not heard. So by hearing it from Hanuman, she felt a thrill. So do we feel that thrill when we hear the name of the chosen one? How can we maintain the sacredness? It's up to you. I'm not telling you how to do it. If I start telling us each other how to do it, then it becomes religion. But in spirituality, you're free. But you have to question, how do I maintain the sanctity of this divine mantra? That is why in those days they would say, don't reveal these mantras to anybody. Don't share it with anybody. Keep it to yourself. Because when you keep it there, then you maintain the sanctity. So every time you go into that mantra, if you go into that altar, if you go into that inner space that you have created, you feel that this is my space. This is my sound, my vibration, my key to the divine. Do we have one such name which is so sacred in our hearts? Only you can answer this. So I leave you to think about that. Then Hanuman, what he does, he moves closer to Sita. And Sita immediately suspects him. Why did Hanuman move closer to Sita? Valmiki is not explained why. But later on he says, I think he hints towards why Hanuman. Seeing Sita in such a beautiful mood, Hanuman goes to prostrate to her. Because he had only done salutation, he wants to prostrate to Hanuman, to Mother Sita. So he goes closer to prostrate. Sita immediately steps back, saying, wait a minute, this must be Ravana. Again, he's doing the same thing. And so she starts telling, are you the Ravana? Tell me, this is not good for you. Don't do this to me again. You already came as a mendicant and cheated me and kidnapped me. Now you're taking this form of a monkey. Am I dreaming? Am I hallucinating? What's going on? And Sita goes into that confused state one more time. And she begins to suspect. Now, when I read that, I started asking, what is Sita doing? One moment she feels a thrill, and then a sudden thing, she goes back into this confused state. What is going on? What have we to learn from here? The way I understand this chapter is we tend to focus on Sita and ask why she is doing it. But I want to draw the focus away from that. I think Valmiki is teaching us a subtle lesson here. Because it's easy to say, okay, she's acting, she's the avatar, she's divine and all of that, right? But let us take the focus from here and come to Hanuman. I think the way Valmiki is projecting Rama and Sita to us and Hanuman's devotion to them in this moment, especially between Hanuman and Sita, he is showing the unconditional love, the unconditional devotion, the unconditional faith Hanuman has on Sita. Sita, he has come all the way. He has struggled without food and sleep. For those 2 days, he has looked for her everywhere. He finally sees her. He sings the glory and comes down gently. And what he is getting back in return is suspicion. Are you Ravana? Who are you? I don't know. Am I dreaming? No, I can't be dreaming because I've never slept all these months, so I can't dream. All the Sita is saying. None of them are motivating for Hanuman, but that doesn't put him away. It's almost like insulting Hanuman, but yet Hanuman is there just because Hanuman is not about what am I getting out of this. That I is completely gone. So, and that thought led me into a series of thought, because here you have to be completely unconditional in your devotion and faith and love. Because look at the Ramayana story itself. We study the hero is Hanuman. Of course, Rama and Sita are the main hero and heroine of the story. There's no question about it. But our take-home stories of Hanuman, that's why a whole chapter is dedicated to him. Whom is he dedicating his life to? How does he get the sense of dedication and attachment? What is his motivation? He sees Rama in Kishkinda forest, right? He sees Rama as an individual who's lost his wife, who's lost his kingdom, lost his wife, who's desolate in grief, looking for Sita, questioning everyone, have you seen my wife? Do you know where she is? There is nothing divine about that. As Ravana would put it, he would say, your husband is a loser, he lost his kingdom, he lost everything. So think of that person in front of you. Would you be devoted to such a person? Why would you be devoted to such a person if you are? That is the question we need to ask. How is it that Hanuman gets that devotion? And is that an ordinary devotion? Does he take pity on these people? No. He wants to serve them. He sees some good traits in them. Then when he begins to understand Rama's character, he begins to respect and adore, and he is devoted to the values Rama represents. How he is an embodiment of dharma, a sense of righteousness. Whatever that sense is, Rama, those days there was a set of values, so Rama follows that values. So Hanuman began to respect that individual who has such high power, a high standard of values, and who never flinched from those set of values, never compromised on those set of values, of sweet speech, of not hurting anyone, of adhering to righteous action, and so on. So he became devoted to Rama on that account. And he decided to serve. And that service, right from beginning, became more and more unconditional. And as you see now, it has been only unconditional service. I want to serve this person. I want to serve this person. Right? And then he comes to Sita, and that is what is motivating. So he's standing in front of Sita, Sita suspecting him, and he's again patiently bowing down to her. Unconditional love. Sita is also confused. Sita is also crying. There Rama is crying, Sita is crying. So for him to look up to these people as ideals would seem very uncanny in 21st century. You would say, why do you want to go to somebody who's constantly crying, who's lost his wife? Why are you going to these people? Go to somebody who's rich and famous, who's successful, who's doing a lot of blogs on YouTube or whatever it is. Follow them. They are more popular. They are more famous. Let's follow them. Because that is the idea we have, right? Because why? Because in following them, I might get something out of it. Here, Hanuman is following because he wants to learn something out of that. He wants to learn. And in that learning, he wants to offer himself completely into that service. I am still trying to grasp the depth of Hanuman's unconditionality in his love, in his devotion, and the selflessness in his attitude towards Rama. Selfless. God tests us in many ways. In the divine scheme of things now, let us take a step back. In the divine scheme of things, Rama and Sita put the greatest of tests for Hanuman. by being very normal. Now you might say they didn't know that they were a divinity and that's part of the avatar. All that is accepted. But in a divine scheme of things, it was the greatest test for Hanuman. All the other Vanaras followed Rama and Sita and they are also praised, but none became unconditional in their love and devotion as much as Hanuman did. And Hanuman was the one who got it, right? So in meditating upon and contemplating upon, we begin to draw that quality of unconditional, unflinching devotion and faith. When we approach a deity, a guru, a god, a book, a program, anything, we always want to know, what am I going to get out of this? If I do this puja, what am I going to get out of it? If I do this yagna, what will I get out of this? If I follow this, what will I get out of this? And without that, I am not motivated, because it is all about I, me and mine. And that itself closes the door for spiritual expansion, period. And without that, everything else is just time pass. It's a good time pass, right? But when you begin to explore this unconditionality, then you are not in the picture at all. You are not in the picture at all. You're not serving God because it is your duty to serve. You're doing it out of love. There is no idea of duty or none of that, just love. Love is what motivates you. Love is what energizes you. Love is what, and that is unconditional love, no conditions based. Oh, if people are not nice to me, why should I do this? If nobody is coming to my program, why should I offer a program? None of that. No conditions are attached in whatever you're doing, whatever you're offering to your family, to your work. If you can come into that unconditional attitude, and on top of that, do your very best, seeking excellence every day, improving yourself, using all the resources at disposal to enhance that capability to offer whatever it is. If you're cooking a meal for your children, or if you're working in the computer for a software program for a company, maybe the company is doing good for you, bad for you, none of that. If you can just develop this attitude of being unconditional, it's not easy at all, not easy at all. Especially when the other person, like Sita, tells you, are you Ravana? Are you trying to cheat me? What are you? Stay away from me. And she refuses to look at him. How much hurt it would be, we would think. But Hanuman is not there at all, not even flinching in his devotion or considering all those things. He's only worried about Sita. Please. And he sings the glory of Rama. We'll come to that. But I want to pause here and I want to take you through this wonderful poem that has inspired me over the last so many decades, ever since I first came across it in Puttaparthi. It's a poem by Khalil Gibran on love. Because you and I need to ask, what does it mean to have unconditional love for God? Write down that word unconditional and see what it means. Whether I lose everything or gain everything, does that, my love for God and that, is it related? If so, then there are conditions. If my prayers have, do this for me or that for me, those are conditions. In your prayer, do you lose yourself and only Sai remains, only Krishna remains, only Rama remains? Or is there an I also in that prayer? We need to ask ourselves and examine that, especially in the context where we are right now. Rama. See, Sita has lost herself in Rama. Hanuman has lost himself in the service of Rama. So only Rama is there in this scenario. Hanuman is not interested in him. Sita is only concerned about Rama. And for her, everything has to be about Rama. Right? That is the beauty of that place where we are. So, this is a very beautiful poem. Many of you would have heard it. Allow me to read it. And after reading this, I will directly go into the invocation. I will leave you to that thoughts, because any more words would, I think, we'll lose the magic of that. So here's the beautiful, powerful poem by Khalil Gibran. His name comes at the very end. And it goes something like this. When love beckons to you, follow him, though his ways are hard and steep. And when his wings enfold you, yield to him, though his sword, hidden among his pinions, may wound you. And when he speaks to you, listen to him, though his words may shatter your dreams as the north wind lays waste the garden. For even as love crowns you, so shall he crucify you. For even as he is for your growth, so is he for your pruning. Even as he ascends to your height and caresses your tenderest branches that quiver in the morning sun, so shall he descend to your roots and shake them in their clinging to the earth. Like sheaves of corn, he gathers you unto himself. Who? Love. He threshes you to make you naked. He sifts you to free you from your husks. He grinds you to whiteness. He kneads you until you are pliant. And then he assigns you to his sacred fire, that you may become the sacred bread for God's sacred feast. All these things shall love do unto you, that you may know the secrets of your heart. And in that knowledge become a fragrant of life's heart. But if in your fear you would only seek love's peace and love's pleasure, then it is better for you that you cover your nakedness and walk out of love's threshing flow into the seasonless world, where you shall laugh, but not all of your laughter, and weep, but not all of your tears. Love gives not, but itself, takes not, but from itself. Love possesses not, nor would it be possessed, for love is sufficient unto love. The poet's name is Khalil Gibran. Om Bhuh Purusham Shri Bajrang Rupaya Shri Samba Sada Shivam Avahayami. Om Bhuvah Purusham Shri Maruti Rupaya Shri Samba Sada Shivam Avahayami. Om Subhah Purusham Shri Chiranjeevi Rupaya Shri Samba Sada Shivam Avahayami. Om Bhurbhuvah Subhah Purusham Shri Ramaduta Hanuman Rupaya Shri Samba Sada Shivam Avahayami. Tasyastadvachanam shrutva Hanuman Haripungavah Dukhat dukhabhibhutaya Santvam uttaram abravit. Aham Ramasya sandeshad Devi dutasavagatah वैदेहि कुशली रामस्त्वां च कौशलमब्रवीत्। यो ब्रह्ममस्त्रवेदांश्च वेदविदां वरः स त्वां दाशरथी रामो देवि कौशलमब्रवीत्। लक्ष्मणश्च महातेजा भर्तुस्तेऽनुचरः प्रियः कृतवान् शोकसन्तप्तः शिरसा तेऽभिवादनम्। सातयो कुशलं देवी निशम्य नरसिंहयोः प्रीतिसंहृष्ट सर्वाङ्गी हनुमन्तमथाब्रवीत्। कल्याणी बत गातेयं लौकिकी प्रतिभाति माम् एति जीवन्तमानन्दो नरं वर्षशतादपि। तया समागते तस्मिन् प्रीतिरुत्पादिताद्भुता परस्परेण चालापं विश्वस्तौ तौ प्रचक्रतुः। तस्यास्तद्वचनं श्रुत्वा हनुमान् हरियूथपः सीताया शोकदीनाया समीपमुपचक्रमे। यथा यथा समीपं स हनुमानुपसर्पति तथा तथा रावणं सा तं सीता परिशङ्कते। अहो दिग्दुष्कृतमिदं कथितं हि यदस्य मे रूपान्तरमुपागम्य स एवायं हि रावणः। ताम् अशोकस्य शाखां सा विमुक्त्वा शोककर्षिता तस्यामेवानवद्याङ्गी धरण्यां समुपाविशत्। हनुमानपि दुःखार्तां तां दृष्ट्वा भयमोहिताम् अवन्दत महाबाहुः सतस्तां जनकात्मजाम्। सा चैनं भयवित्रस्था भूयो नैवाभ्युदैक्षत। तं दृष्ट्वा वन्दमानं तु सीता शशिनिभाननाम् अब्रवीद्दीर्घमुच्छ्वस्य वानरं मधुरस्वरा। मायां प्रविष्टो मायावी यदि त्वं रावणस्वयम् उत्पादयसि मे भूयः सन्तापं तन्न शोभनम्। स्वयं परित्यज्य रूपं यः परिव्राजकरूपधृत् जनस्थाने मया दृष्टस्त्वं स एवासि रावणः। उपवासकृशां दीनां कामरूपनिशाचर सन्तापयसि मां भूयः सन्तप्तां तन्न शोभनम्। अथवा नैतदेवं हि यन्मया परिशङ्कितं मनसो हि मम प्रीतिरुत्पन्ना तव दर्शनात्। यदि रामस्य दूतस्त्वम् आगतो भद्रमस्तु ते पृच्छामि त्वां हरिश्रेष्ठ प्रिया रामकथा हि मे। गुणान् रामस्य कथय प्रियस्य मम वानर चित्तं हरसि मे सौम्य नदीकूलं यथारयः। अहो स्वप्नस्य सुखता याहमेवं चिराकृता प्रेषितं नाम पश्यामि राघवेण वनौकसम् स्वप्नेऽपि यद्यहं वीरं राघवं सह लक्ष्मणं पश्येयं नावसीदेयं स्वप्नोऽपि मम मत्सरे नाहं स्वप्नमिमं मन्ये स्वप्ने दृष्ट्वा हि वानरं न शक्योऽभ्युदयप्राप्तुं प्राप्तश्चाभ्युदयो मम किन्नु स्याचित्तमोहोऽयं भवेद्वातगतिस्त्वियम् उन्मादजो विकारो वा स्यादियं मृगतृष्णिका अथवा नायमुन्मादो मोहोऽप्युन्मादलक्षणः सम्बुध्ये चाहमात्मानमियं चापि वनौकसम् इत्येवं बहुधा सीता सम्प्रधार्य बलाबलम् रक्षसां कामरूपत्वान् मेनेतं राक्षसाधिपम् एतां बुद्धिं तदा कृत्वा सीता सा तनुमध्यमा न प्रतिव्याजहाराध वानरं जनकात्मजा सीतायाश्चिन्तितं बुद्ध्वा हनुमान् मारुतात्मजः श्रोत्रोऽनुकूलैर्वचनैस्तदा तां सम्प्रहर्षयत् आदित्य इव तेजस्वी लोककान्तः शशी यथा राजा सर्वस्य लोकस्य देवो वैश्रवणो यथा विक्रमेणोपपन्नश्च यथा विष्णुर्महायशाः सत्यवादी मधुरवाग् देवो वाचस्पतिर्यथा रूपवान् सुभगः श्रीमान् कन्दर्प इव मूर्तिमान् स्थानक्रोधप्रहर्ता च श्रेष्ठो लोके महारथः बाहुच्छायामवष्टब्धो यस्य लोको महात्मनः अपकृष्याश्रमपदान् मृगरूपेण राघवम् शून्ये येनापनीतासि तस्य द्रक्ष्यसि यत्फलम् न चिराद्रावणं संख्ये यो वधिष्यति वीर्यवान् रोषप्रमुक्तैरिषुभिर्ज्वलद्भिरिव पावकैः तेनाहं प्रेषितो दूतस्त्वत्सकाशं इहागतः त्वद्वियोगेन दुःखार्तः स त्वां कौशलमब्रवीत् लक्ष्मणश्च महातेजाः सुमित्रानन्दवर्धनः अभिवाद्य महाबाहुः स त्वां कौशलमब्रवीत् रामस्य च सखा देवी सुग्रीवो नाम वानरः राजा वानरमुख्यानां स त्वां कौशलमब्रवीत् नित्यं स्मरति रामस्त्वां स सुग्रीवः स लक्ष्मणः दृष्ट्या जीवसि वैदेहि राक्षसी वशमागता न चिराद्रक्ष्यसे रामं लक्ष्मणं च महाबलम् मध्ये वानरकोटीनां सुग्रीवं चामितौजसम् अहं सुग्रीवसचिवो हनुमान् नाम वानरः प्रविष्टो नगरीं लङ्कां लङ्कयित्वा महोदधिम् कृत्वा मूर्ध्निपदन्यासं रावणस्य दुरात्मनः त्वां द्रष्टुमुपयातोऽहं समाश्रित्य पराक्रमम् नाहम् अस्मि तथा देवि यथा माम् अवगच्छसि विशङ्कात्यज्यतामेषा श्रद्धस्व वदतो मम। इत्यार्षे श्रीमद् रामायणे वाल्मीकीय आदिकाव्ये सुन्दरकाण्डे 34 सर्गः। श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधारी बरनो रघुबर बिमल जसु जोदायक फल चारि। बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरा पवन कुमार। बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहे हरहु कलेश विकार। राम 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 श्री राम 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 श्री राम 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 राम। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीस तिहु लोक उजागर। रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा। महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी। कंचन वरण विराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा। हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे कांधे मूंज जनेऊ साजे। शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगबंदन। विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर। प्रभु चरित सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया। राम 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 श्री राम 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 श्री राम 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 श्री राम 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 श्री राम 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 राम। सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा। भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे रामचंद्र के काज संवारे। लाए सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुबीर हर्षि उर लाए। रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरत ही सम भाई। सहस बदन तुम्हरो जस गावे अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे। सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिता। जम कुबेर दिगपाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सके कहाते। तुम उपकार सुग्रीव ही कीन्हा राम मिलाए राजपद दीन्हा। राम 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 श्री राम 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 श्री राम 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 राम। लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना। जुग सहस्र योजन पर भानु, लियो ताहि मधुर फल जानू। प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माही, जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाहि। दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते, सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे देते। राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे, होत न आज्ञा बिन पैसारे। सब सुख लहे तुम्हारी सरना, तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना। आपन तेज सम्हारो आपे, तीनों लोक हाँकते कापे। भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे, महावीर जब नाम सुनावे। राम 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 राम, श्री राम 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 राम, श्री राम 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 राम, श्री राम 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 राम, श्री राम 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 राम। नासै रोग हरे सब पीरा, जपत निरंतर हनुमत बीरा। संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे, मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे। सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा, तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा। और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे, सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे। चारों जुग परताप तुम्हारा, है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा। साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे। अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता, असवर दीन जानकी माता। राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा, सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा। राम 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 राम, श्री राम 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 राम, श्री राम 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 राम, श्री राम 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 राम, श्री राम 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 राम। तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे। अंत काल रघुबरपुर जाई, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई। और देवता चित्तन धरई, हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई। संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा, जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई। जो शत बार पाठ कर कोई, छूटहि बंदी महासुख होई। जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा, होए सिद्धि साकी गौरीसा। तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, की जय नाथ हृदय महाडेरा। राम 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 राम, श्री राम 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 राम, श्री राम 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 राम, श्री राम 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 राम, श्री राम 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 राम। पवन तनय संकट हरण, मंगल मूर्ति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहित, हृदय बसहु सुरभूप। राम 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 राम, श्री राम 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 राम, समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु May all the beings in all the worlds be happy. जय बोलो पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, सतगुरु साईनाथ महाराज की जय। नमः पार्वती पतये हर हर महादेव। ओम शांति शांति शांति।